Hey there, thanks for tuning in to Navstar. Today we are reviewing the Hobbyking F-18 Super Hornet, an awesome little EPO foam EDF jet that has a 6-axis gyro installed that can take your flying to another level. We'll also look at her flight characteristics and analyze them using AI. Hang on, this is going to be a fun one. All right, let's get into the maiden, shall we? She's a hand-launched EDF. No gear to worry about. How about that? Super easy to launch. And given that the aircraft is designed around a 4S battery cell setup, it has loads of power. Many of the similar size F-18s that are out there are built around a 3S battery pack, but not this one. With the Turnigies, the little shorties in there, she is something else, let me tell you. I was able to get a good 4 minutes of flight time without breaking a sweat. The wingspan's 23 inches. She's 31.5 inches overall. Her all-in weight with the 1300 4S is about 500 grams, and she's fitted with a 50 millimeter 12-blade brushless motor, 30 amp ESC with a BEC, and it is fitted with an intelligent 6-axis flight controller gyro that has 3 flight modes in it. She is fitted with 4 9-gram servos and doesn't have a rudder. You do need to be careful when you build it to make sure that the horizontal stabilizer is actually horizontal. I had to go back and adjust mine, but once they were lined up, I'll tell you, this thing flies like it's on rails, and I don't mean to say that loosely.
Yeah, I'm going to dial down the sensitivity.
She really flies well. The stabilization function is super important for folks who want to get into this hobby and have a little bit more confidence. There's some other videos with some greater detail on the breakdown of the different modes. We did remove it to place our flight controller in there after our maiden flights because we work with a different system that's incompatible. However, with it as stock, you'll have no trouble at all. And she's fast. Look at that climb rate on that thing.
All right, brother, she's good. She's so plain. She needs full throttle to take off with a hand launch, though.
You do need every bit of her throttle to get her airborne. I would highly recommend facing the wind when you do the hand launch, but she'll get up there. Use a little upward angle on your toss initially to get some wind under the wings and give it a good chuck, and you'll be fine. Here's a shot from our onboard cameras. We try to give a little perspective from our planes that's different from some of the other channels, but as you can see, she came in nice and smooth. Very easy to fly, very easy to do aerobatics. And no gear to worry about.
Good flight.
Good flight.
Nice.
Okay, so we fitted the aircraft with a DJI 04 air unit and retained the flight log from the ELRS system that we're flying in. If your aircraft is capable of giving you a log, you can get this kind of data. So if you look at it from a perspective of kind of geek mode, we were able to pull a lot of information from this flight. It's in 4 phases, as you can see. There's a number of different paragraphs here you can read. First phase was the pre-flight checkoff, showing a test of the various flight surfaces. Phase 2 was the takeoff and initial climb, where it shows advancing the throttle to maximum in order to gain the proper speed that it needed for liftoff. At 6 seconds into this cut, the speed begins to increase and the elevator input goes to maximum to give it the climb that it needed. And then it reached an altitude of 143 feet with a vertical speed of 143 feet per second. Pretty wild. At that point, the climb was 48 miles an hour and the throttle was cut back to about 80%. Phase 3 of the evaluation got into the aerobatic circuit, where when we were running at full throttle, we hit a maximum of 72 miles an hour and 212 foot altitude. We actually peaked at 355 at one brief moment, and were able to run it through some aileron rolls and some loops. As you read on, if you care to geek out on these numbers, it'll give you the actual distance covered, 2.6 nautical miles, average speed of 40 knots, and she really did well towards the end, according to this. What we did was we uploaded the flight log to Grok and said, hey, evaluate the flight. Show us what you got. At the end of the flight, it shows that we had a nice final approach. Our vertical speed was reduced to a minimum, and touchdown was done at approximately 30 knots. The vital statistics for this flight: maximum speed, I'm showing 61 for this particular flight. It was 72 in an earlier flight. Average speed was 40 miles an hour. And we drew a maximum current of 26 amps with an average of about 15. And we landed with 50% battery on the gauge when we were done. So pretty good. But I'll tell you what's kind of fun when you upload the flight data to an AI and get them to evaluate it. You get some really neat information. It actually gave us a grade for our flying. It said this was a highly proficient flight for an F-18 RC model with a clean takeoff and precise aerobatics. Energy management was excellent. And we had a few minor GPS glitches, which it picked up on, which I thought was kind of cool. And it says exemplary execution by a skilled pilot. Well, I wouldn't go that far, but nonetheless, I thought it was kind of cool to take this data and put it up online and put the brain power of AI on it. So here's the unboxing. As usual, these usually come very, very well packaged. You can see the wings were really well made. I mean, they're pinch foam. We always add a little bit of hot glue smear along those edges to make them last longer and make sure they flex well enough before we connect our ailerons to them. But the build was really easy. I would say the most challenging part on this was making sure that your horizontal stabilizers are in fact horizontal. There's a couple of plastic support elements that are provided with the aircraft that you can glue to the side of the fuselage. I think it's optional, but I would highly recommend you use them. My only real critique about the fittings that were provided with the plane were that the push rods, the connectors on the push rods were really kind of low quality, I gotta say. They didn't fail on me, but I didn't like how thin they were, so I did reinforce them a little bit with a small zip tie just to make sure they stayed in. That may or may not be a problem, but I saw that it was worth the insurance to do that. So there she is built. Don't need a lot of instructions for it. The wings are magnetic. They pop right on, and that's a good thing in case they pop off. All right, so 5 out of 5. Build rating, piece of cake. Don't even worry about it. Jump right in. The quick build assembly guide will be your friend, and you'll be flying in no time. We were able to put this thing together in the morning and be flying an hour later. So your time may vary, but for us it worked out really well. I'd say 5 out of 5 for a new guy because it has onboard stabilization. We did not run a thorough test with that, although we did check it out, and it's a fine piece of equipment. So you can fly this thing with confidence. 5 out of 5 for newbies, so jump in, make it happen. This is a good shot of the DJI O4 air unit. We really like those, but that's not the subject of this review. However, it did provide us with some great footage, which I thought y'all would appreciate. So anyhow, there you have it, the F-18 Super Hornet from Hobbyking. Awesome little plane, easy to fly, easy to put together. And hey, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate the likes and subscribes, and we look forward to having you back here on the channel. God bless.